tell you why you're not faking it. You're just using an outdated map. I had a client once tell me, I kept waiting for someone to figure out that I don't actually know what I'm doing at this level. That's a direct quote from a vice president. 18 months into a role she was headhunted for. Brilliant track record, 2 decades of experience, product launches that generated hundreds of millions in revenue, teams that were built from scratch. And she was quietly convinced it was only a matter of time before someone figured out that she didn't belong. Her 360 feedback told a completely different story. Peers rated her as one of the strongest strategic thinkers on the leadership team. Direct reports said she was the best manager they'd ever worked for. One skip level wrote that she was the reason they stayed at the company. She looked at those results like they were describing someone else. They must be being nice, she said, and she meant it. I told her, you just did something interesting. I gave you data from 12 people who know your work intimately, and you spent 30 seconds explaining why all 12 are wrong and you're right. Would you accept that kind of analysis in any other domain? She laughed. If a product manager brought me survey data from 12 customers and told me the data was wrong because the customers were being nice, I'd send them back to do more work. Here's what I've come to understand after sitting with hundreds of professionals who experience this. Imposter syndrome is almost always an identity lag. Your professional identity, the internal picture of who you are and where you belong, takes 6 to 18 months to catch up after a significant transition. You got the new title, but the person inside is still measuring against who they used to be. You're not faking it. You're using an outdated map. And the cruelest trick is how some of the imposters compensate. For some, it drives over preparation. That was me. Preparation's 3 times longer than needed. Every possible question researched in advance. That looks like excellence from the outside, but it's a treadmill on the inside. For others, it drives silence, processing every thought through so many filters that by the time they clear their own bar, the moment had passed and the conversation has moved on. That looks like thoughtfulness, but it registers as invisibility. Both versions share the same root. A gap between where you actually are and where your identity thinks you are. The fix isn't confidence, it's calibration. Where is your identity still running on the old software?